X's and O's.
Time now for a little X's and O's. This is your segment. This is where you become part of the show, and we invite you to always reach out to us. We'll tell you how in a second. So our X's and O segment, and here's the note. It says, "Hey fellas, I can't thank you all enough for your work," and that warms my heart, because I've always said cigars is the journey, not so much it's the experience, not so much the journey. You've helped me make me more an intelligent cigar smoker, and that would be directly attributed to you guys, to Erik and Ivan there, and y'all have made it fun, which I wish I could smoke a cigar with you all. Well, you know where to find us, my friend. He's got two questions for us. Number one, when I buy new cigars, either online or from a B&M store, how long should I wait before I smoke them? I've read everything from 2 weeks to 6 months. This is due to the fact that supposedly both online and brick and mortar retailers tend to over-humidify their cigars. Question two, related to the previous one, what's due to the difference in humidity, should I wait before introducing new cigars to my humidor where I've already got cigars? I've seen some people recommend placing new cigars in a temporary location, different humidor, or above a humidor bag, while the difference in humidification levels dissipate. Is that a good practice or just absurd? And that is from our man James in Justice, Illinois. We have to look up Justice.
Yeah, we have. I'm sorry I didn't do that ahead of time. But man, yeah, those are interesting questions.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
so
it to me, I almost look at it. I'm a big sports bettor. Is when you make a futures bet, like how many games are the Dolphins going to win this year,
yep.
and your money is sitting there for 3-4 months. I can't do it. Maybe I'm too millennial in my sports betting, and I'm certainly too millennial in my cigar smoking.
Sure.
Like I've never waited.
No one has ever.
I didn't know that was a thing.
No one has ever said Jim is too millennial. I've never heard that.
Well, here you have it. I said it myself.
But yeah, so some of these things are, before Ivan goes off, because I could see that he is dying to unleash,
bash the geekiness.
Unleash some of that geek bashing. So in Miami, in predominantly Cuban circles,
mm-hmm.
we don't tend to get so goofy about this stuff, right? You bought the cigar, felt the cigar. Did it feel humidified or did it feel dry to you? When you look at it, is it dry? Then it's going to need some humidification. And if it's not, if it feels spongy and it's clearly over humidified, then you're going to want to dry box it or leave it out on your desk, depending on where you live. Obviously, if you're in Arizona, don't do that, because 2 minutes later, it will be dry. So we don't get so geeky about it. Again, in Cuban circles, when you talk to cigar manufacturers, they don't get so wacky about it. So I just want to preempt Ivan's,
Rant.
No, but yeah. So yeah, we don't get so crazy. So don't be upset if Ivan offends you, and continue. Go ahead.
Quite the caveat.
I find that it's the 100% responsibility of the retailer to sell perfectly humidified cigars.
Ready to smoke.
Ready to smoke, ready to go. Because they're receiving it from the manufacturers in perfect conditions.
Yep.
They have to, or else, everybody will be losing a lot of money if the manufacturer's not delivering products that are absolutely perfect. So then it's the retailer's responsibility to properly store them and then sell them, whether that be online or a brick and mortar. Now, have we all bought cigars that maybe have not been perfect?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Absolutely.
That happens.
Everybody's had a cigar that hasn't been in the best conditions. If this happens more than once at the same place, I'm probably not going to buy any more cigars from them, because then it's the retailer's responsibility that he's not holding up. There's many factors that go into not having properly stored cigars for sale. That's a whole nother show, I guess. But if you have 1, 2, 3 bad experiences at a retailer, whether again online or brick and mortar, that you have a bad experience purchasing a cigar, I'm not buying any more cigars from them. I don't have to go the extra mile to try to remedy something that should have already been delivered in good conditions.
Yeah, it's the equivalent.
Completely
If you go to a grocery store and you buy bad and your fruit is bad or the vegetables are bad, that's the same concept, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, what Ivan is saying is perfectly reasonable. Now, he is saying this from the standpoint of a guy in Miami where we have, if the store down the street doesn't take care of their cigars, we can go to the one next door. I mean, we have, and so we are spoiled in that way. Whereas in other places, people aren't.
Online also, though.
And yeah, so now, by the way, by chance, I don't know. I'm wearing a Boveda hat.
Oh,
by chance today.
That's right.
And that wasn't by design. It really wasn't. It's because I haven't shaved my head and it looks fuzzy, so I threw a hat on, and that's it. But the point is, an online retailer today has the ability to send you cigars with a Boveda pack inside, or other humidification manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
So the cigar can get there in prime condition, right? So that should not happen today, right? And as far as I know, and I deal with and I speak with regularly, the biggest online retailers in the country, nobody over humidifies their cigars on purpose. So don't think that that is a thing. And in terms of brick and mortars, I think most of the time it's the opposite. Most of the time at a brick and mortar, you'll find that the cigars are under humidified because, for example, if you have like a whole store humidification and you buy the cigars that are near the door, the dry air from the outside is drying, and you're in a place where it's dry. Not here in Florida. You can almost not dry them out here in Florida.
Impossible.
You open the door and more humid air comes in. So that not here, but in other places, the cigars in a B&M can be drier. And so I don't think that at least I've not come across a lot of over humidified in a B&M. And if it is, like Ivan said, I probably, if I walked in and I felt that
you would notice
it was too humid, I was like,
you would notice
I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
The last time we did, I don't know if you remember, we were doing a photo shoot in Curacao. And I walked into this little cigar shop that was in like on the main drag there in Curacao. And I walked in and I was like, oh my God, it's so freaking humid in here.
You
I was
started
like,
sweating.
Nope, I am not buying this because this cigar is not going to be smokable. And I turned around and left. So again, I know that doesn't work for everybody, because if your local retailer is a certain way, and so I get that. But for the most part, no, you should be buying your cigars in perfect, ready to smoke condition. That's the line on that. And in terms of whether you should let them sit in your humidor beforehand or put them separately in a Boveda bag, like you said, cigars, like everything else in life, they seek an equilibrium in terms of humidity. So when you bring in overly humidified cigars into a perfectly humidified humidor, they will balance themselves out, right? And so it'll be spread across, almost like spreading the risk, like an insurance company. Mm. So the humidity will spread across, and it'll maybe go up a little bit, but then it'll settle back down into what is the norm in your humidor. And vice versa. If you bring in a cigar that's dry, all the other cigars' humidity and the humidity in the air will help that cigar come up faster. So yeah, again, we don't ascribe to these overly geeky things in terms of messing around with your cigars. We never have. By the way, and having said that, have you ever? And if you have, it's okay. But have you ever smoked an overly humidified or overly dry cigar here at Cigar Snob?
Never.
And we don't get stupid about it, but we make sure that they're humidified. And in fact, there's cigar manufacturers who prefer their cigars under humidified, like a little bit. Like instead of 68, they'll keep them at 65. Right? Like I remember a particular manufacturer. I remember I walked into his office, and I looked at the humidor and it said 65. And I was like, are you low on water, or did you do that on purpose? He's like, no, I always keep my humidors at 65. I like them slightly drier, just a little bit drier, because they burn better. That's what And this was a major cigar manufacturer whose name you guys all know.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of everything, it is all personal preference as well.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's almost like those old Cuban wives' tale. You know, it's there's lightning outside. Turn off the TV, or don't think you just ate. You can't get in the ocean.
You don't jump in the water.
You know
after
what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, it's always about personal preference. And you nailed it, Erik. Maybe you like your cigars a little on the drier side. Maybe you like them a little bit more humid. You don't want to make it too humid because then you won't be able to smoke it. But there is no that I think the key is it's okay to introduce new cigars to properly humidified cigars.
I would be more worried about bugs than I would about introducing a cigar that is too dry into my perfectly humidified humidor. I would be more worried about drugs. Well, I always worry about the drugs.
Drugs are bad, okay? Drugs are bad.
So, bugs are the biggest concern. Bugs are absolutely the biggest concern. So I would worry more about temperature. Well, obviously you have to worry about humidity, but all that being said, temperature is important because when the humidor is too warm, then the bugs can hatch, and now you've got a humidor full of bugs. So I would always want to keep the humidor in a cool area. That would be number one on the temperature side. Or if you have a refrigerator type humidor, those are fantastic. So I'd be more worried about that because bugs are a real problem. So sometimes I will keep, not sometimes, all the time. When we bring in cigars into our humidors, we always keep them in boxes. We never just put humidors loose. We have large humidors though, but we never just leave them loose because if bugs break out, then they're just contained to that box.
Gotcha.
So
makes sense.
They don't eat through wood. So,
well, James, I hope that answered your questions. And by the way, Justice, Illinois, about 12,000, just under 13,000 people in that.
What is happening?
We are a small one.
We are hitting all these small towns.
Northeastern Illinois. So you're actually closer to Indiana, almost on the Indiana border, not down like Chicago is like, south west Illinois. So, northeast Illinois, God's country, as we like to say.
Good fact finding there, by the way.
Well,
I appreciate that, Jimmy. While we were yapping.
That's what we do. So Justice, Illinois.
What is Justice, Illinois known for? Other than our friend James,
I can make something up if you want.
Yeah, I know.
Buford Tea Justice, the Smoking the Bandit, maybe.
Wow,
I'll take a Diablo sandwich. Huh? I'll take a Diablo sandwich and hurry up. I'm in a gosh darn hurry.
All right,
so good. And as a result, for starting this stimulating conversation, what happens?
He gets so our buddy James will get a Cigar Snob swag pack. Thank you, James.
Nice.
We should institute a round of applause for these questions. That's
very good.
Very nice of you, James. Thank you, man. And thanks to, we've gotten a ton of feedback, and I do want to sort of apologize for not replying to all of them. A lot of the questions we've covered a lot on the show, so we didn't want to repeat questions.
Sure.
So, but keep them coming, because it's just it's cool to. I know that we sort of beat up James a little bit here on the answers. We didn't mean to, but
no.
It's cool that we have these other viewpoints, right?
Sure.
Because we live here in this very
and a walk-in humidor,
Yeah.
Well, listen, you can always hit us up. Questions@cigarsnob.com. Questions@cigarsnob.com. And if we read it, we'll get you a swag pack.
That's right.
So James in Justice, Illinois. Watch out, you don't want to have any neighbors, so keep an eye out on that. We'll send you an email and we'll get all that information. So that's a good start to our day. And now here comes my man IOC with something from.
Does the date 1888 ring a bell?
Very good. Since we're on the trivia tip, and you're not allowed to Google this.
1888. Well, that was 100 years before my Dodgers won the World Series.
Oh, okay.
And there was the great blizzard in the Northeast. New York City got 21 inches of snow that.
I'm not going to Google this, so I don't. You know what?
This guy's tons of facts.
Benjamin Harrison beat Grover Cleveland and became president of the United States.
Look at Jimmy go!
This is my next Trivial
Look
Pursuit
at the big
partner.
brain.
Wow, Jimmy!
I'm just saying, 1888. It was a good year.
But thanks for the setup.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else it's important for. because it's the year Villiger Cigars was founded.
Ah,
And
well.
this is the date that gave
Mm.
rise to the first premium handmade cigar to hold Villiger's name, the Villiger 1888. And now, the two newest additions to the historic line, the new Villiger 1888 Nicaragua and the Villiger 1888 Dominican Republic. My favorite of the two is the Nicaragua, which I had an opportunity to smoke at the PCA show this year in Las Vegas.
That's right.
And let me tell you, it was an amazing smoke. Just walking around with this, it's this beautiful dark wrapper with this like blue like label.
Yep.
It
Blue,
felt
like blue and gold, right?
It felt like I was walking around with like a Johnny Walker blue label.
Epa.
It was like super opulent. It was a delicious smoke. Delivers notes of like roasted nuts, rich mocha, sweet caramel finish. It's a super complex smoke with loads of flavor. The Villiger 1880 Nicaragua is made at the Villiger de Nicaragua, Villiger's newest cigar factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. So if you're in the mood for either the Nicaragua or the Dominican Republic, go out and try either one of the new Villiger's 1888s today.
I wonder if Benny Harrison, when he won the election, might have had himself an 1888.
Ah,
Maybe.
maybe on his
Maybe.
travels
He
through
should've.
Geneva.
He should have.
Maybe the new launch
You
from
know,
Villiger.
That's my guy, Benny Harrison. you know.
Ah,
Benny Harrison from the
old
Bronx.
Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benny from the Bronx.
Benny
Yeah.
from the Bronx.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Villiger. And it only means one thing now.
Thanks for watching Cigar Snob on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy what you saw. Also head over to our YouTube channel to check out more exciting content. And also head over to cigarsnob.com where you can subscribe to our print magazine and receive it at home 6 times a year. Thanks again. See ya.